What's up, everyone? All right, so in today's episode, I'm going to break down my trades for the morning. I'm sitting in the green just under the daily goal of $20,000. Green, $19,967.50. So $32.50 shy of the daily goal. Not bad. Can't complain about that. Now, what's interesting today is that we had, so I think it kind of starts really with yesterday. Yesterday, we had ATNF, which squeezed later in the day. Pre-market this morning, 4 a.m., that stock pops up again to nearly $20 a share. It pulls back, but it curled pre-market. I nailed that for a really nice curl trade off of the support level. And then we had BSLK, which also popped up, and I got some really nice trades on that one as well. And here's the cool thing about today. Total, I only took 4 individual trades, all winners. So this week, and I had 1 trade yesterday, 5 trades in, 100% accuracy. All right, so sniper mode is activated. I'm not trading a lot, but when I see something, bam, I'm catching it. All right, so that's good. Certainly better than last week. But that's kind of the whole deal is when you come off a rough week, it's like, all right, what do I do to get myself back in the zone? Go back to basics, right? Hone in on accuracy, focus on trading the best setups. And maybe you'll miss a few, that in a hotter market, you might feel comfortable taking stabs at, but right now is the time to be a bit more dialed in. So it's paying off. It's paying off in the sense that, I'm up $19,000 on the day. So there's my P&L. It's paying off in the sense that I'm regaining some confidence, being at my all-time high of, I'm at all-time highs right now because I'm not in a drawdown. So I'm feeling better. Okay. So why don't we start with BSLK? Okay, so very much like ATNF, this stock began its move after hours in the previous session. So ATNF was yesterday's big move, and it began, as you can see, Monday after hours. Pre-market Tuesday pulls back, and then it rallies back up, and it squeezes higher as the day went on. Then today pushes a little higher, pulls back. So BSLK, similar in that started after hours, then pre-market pushes higher, and then it keeps going. So where was my first trade on this one? Well, so I was looking at this chart, and I was asking myself, where does it kind of have support and resistance? And I noticed the volume weighted average price right here coming into about 7 a.m. I drew an ascending resistance trend line connecting the high from there to the high right here. So I knew that we would potentially be having some ascending resistance up in this area. But as I watched it right here, I said to myself, this looks like a good spot to take a dip. I entered my share size for 10,000 shares, and I just punched it and took 10,000 shares. So I said, I'm just going to take 10,000 shares right here at 352. Stop was the low. This pullback right here, which was 345. So I was taking about 7 cents of risk, $700 of risk, and I ended up making $5,669.20. From a risk to reward perspective, that's really good. Now, at 7 a.m., this rips through, and I'm already in down here, and it breaks through this level here, it breaks through this level here, and it goes straight up to 420. Fantastic. So that was a great trade. Boom. And then it ends up pulling back. I didn't buy the first 1-minute candle to make a new high right here. I could have. It obviously worked. I didn't take that trade because this was such a big topping tail. I just wasn't sure it would work. It sells off at the open, drops down, then it kind of rips back up here to 440, drops down, and then it comes back up again. In spite of this large topping tail, it rallies all the way up here to a high of 560. Pulls back. Now it's sort of, dealing with this issue. So I didn't trade it in this area. I feel like in a way I missed this move, but I didn't really see this coming. That's the funny thing. So anyways, that was BSLK. The news was earnings yesterday, 5:32 p.m. So earnings news came out. That's what initially got it going. And so that's the chart right now. And I wouldn't write it off. I mean, this still has a lot of room up to the 200 moving average. It's a high volume day right now with 80 million shares of volume. It's going to be a bit more of a grinder like ATNF, but it very likely will have more opportunities given how strong ATNF was yesterday. Now, so why don't I continue to trade it? Well, look, I'm up $19,000 on the day right now to almost 20. This is a good day. It's the daily goal. So yesterday, I hadn't broken the ice with a single trade. I was still sitting here getting some work done, and Then I saw ATNF, I saw a good setup, and I was like, oh, all right, you know what? I'm going to break the ice. I guess today I feel like I've already kind of come in and done what I needed to do. I got green, and now I don't want to risk screwing that up. I guess when you're kind of on a break-even day, break-even versus red, it sort of feels like it's already kind of a lost day. So like the downside in that case of going slightly red doesn't really matter as much. Now in this case, I've already got a pretty good day. How much more can I really add to the day? And I don't feel like I could add a lot more without taking more risk than I'd be comfortable with. And that's really the name of the game, risk and reward. So yesterday I actually uploaded an episode where I talked about risk and reward in quite a lot of detail and focused in on stock selection and how I evaluate different stocks that are hitting the scanner. So at the end of this episode, I'll put a link to yesterday's class, which you should check out if you haven't already. But yeah, so this is where I'm going to finish the morning here. I'm grateful to be green. ATNF pulling back a little bit. So BSLK is kind of taking the spotlight. There's nothing else really that's looking super phenomenal here, but these are trends that we should pay attention to. After hours move leading into a pre-market squeeze. So definitely something I'll be looking at, but now all of a sudden we're coming towards the end of the week, Thursday, Friday, and just like that, we're cutting well into the month. And I feel, like I said, I feel a little bit frustrated that I don't have more to show for it. I can't believe it. We're almost halfway through August. So where am I at on the month? I doubled my month today. I was at 20,000 and I'm up 19. So I just went from 20 to 40. Well, all right. 60,000 was last week. But man, I don't know. It feels like, things really, really cooled off versus June, which was 1.3 million. And then July, which was, just under 1.1 million. So a couple of really great months there. And I didn't really, I guess, look, the last week of July, I lost 58,000 on this day. That hurt. And then I didn't really recover too much of it. Still finished the week red there, based on that. So I don't know, maybe, and then obviously lost on the first day of August. So that was a tough week, worst week of the year, that week right there. And, recouped, I guess most of it here, or all of it. But in any case, yeah, we're in a little bit of a slow period. So I've got to be patient. I don't want to overstay my welcome. So just going to try to manage risk, take it slow. And I think that's, good. Those are good words of wisdom for you guys as well. So as always, reminder, trading is risky. My results aren't typical. And, I really want you guys to practice as a simulator, all right, before you put real money on the line. So just always remember to take it slow. And I'll be back at it bright and early tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. And I'll put the link to the episode here on risk management that I hope you guys check out. Okay, that's it for me. I'll see you tomorrow.